Lumipas at magbago ang panahon. Iisa at nakatatak ang kauna-unahang himpilan sa paghahatid ng serbisyo publiko at balita. Ito ang Radio Mindanao Networks. Higit 6 na dekada sa paglilingkod sa masang Pilipino. Sa Metro Manila, ito ang DZXL 558 Radyo Trabaho, ang inyong gabay sa hanap buhay. Malaki man o sa maliit na paraan, pwede kang maging bayani sa sarili mong kakayahan. Kwentong Bayani. Tunghayan ang mga storya ng bawat individual at organisasyon na siyang magbibigay ng inspirasyon sa mga komunidad, lipunan at sa bawat mamamayan. Kwentong Bayani. Kwentong Bayani. Kasama si Jojo Armenta at Radyoman Jenny Pahilanga sa Kwentong Bayani. Dito sa DZXL 558 Radyo Trabaho tuwing Sabado alas 10 hanggang alas 11 ng umaga at sa Facebook page ng RMN DZXL 558 Manila. Kwentong Bayani. Kwentong Bayani. Hatid ng Benita at Catalino Ya Foundation at ng RMN Networks. Kwentong Bayani. Kwentong Bayani.
Magandang Sabado po ng umaga sa inyong lahat. Samahan niyo po kami hanggang alas 11 ng umaga mula po naman sa RMN DZXL 558 Manila, Radyoman Jenny Pahilanga, at syempre Kwentong Bayani hatid sa inyo ng RMN at ang BCYF. Mula po naman sa BCYF ang aking partner Jojo Armenta. Partner, magandang umaga ng Sabado.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Magandang Sabado po sa ating mga nakikinig at nanonood dito lang sa ating episode ngayong umagang Kwentong Bayani. Good morning, partner.
Good morning. Napakabilis ng araw. Ano? Akalain mo parang kailan lang.
Kaya tapos na naman ang July.
Oo nga. Sinabi mo pa. At syempre, partner, nako, isa na namang magandang episode ang matutunghayan ngayon na ating mga kasama. Pero invite lang natin sila ha sa RMN DZXL 558 Manila. Paki-like and share yun na po yung ating programang Kwentong Bayani at sa YouTube channel DZXL 558. Partner.
Yes. So, partner, good morning muli, no? At ang ating muling pinag-uusapan dahil BCYF, nagsi-celebrate kami ngayon ng Philippine Social Enterprise Month. And of course, we're still integrating yung CSR ng social enterprise part, no? So, mag-uusapan natin ngayong umaga naman is in the part of academe naman. So, yung role ng schools, no? Yung role ng schools, ng academe sa pag-usbong ng social entrepreneurship, talking about social enterprises, integrating citizenship, sustainability, and social responsibility.
Okay. So yun, partner, maganda pala, no? Itong ating episode ngayon at marami ho kayong mapupulot na naman na magandang mga kwento na pangbayani, syempre, partner. Okay.
Yes.
So, eto na.
Yes, pakilala na natin ang ating guest dahil, hindi na siya bago sa BCYF. I'm sure marami siyang ma-share, no, about this topic kasi matagal na rin siyang nasa school. At the same time, matagal na rin niyang ina-advocate yung CSR. So that's why it's good to have him here. So ang ating pong panauhin ngayong umagang ito ay isang astrologist. So he earned his doctorate in Values Formation at De La Salle University, Manila, Philippines, has more than 50 years of combined academic and corporate experience. Currently, he teaches at De La Salle, Armenta University, and the Jose Rizal University. So he was a management development consultant of Metrobank and training director of Malayan Insurance Company. And he is the co-founder and vice president of the International Association of Management and Human Resource Development in Indonesia and the editor-in-chief of IAM HRD Journal. Let's all welcome ang ating pong guest sa umagang ito. Walang iba kundi si Dr. Emil Cudtohan. Good morning, Sir Emil.
Thank you, Myra.
Jenny po.
I'm happy to be with you.
Jenny po, Doc.
Oh, what's the name?
Jenny.
Oh, Jenny, I'm sorry.
Yes, Doc.
Good morning, Doc Emil.
Good morning
Hi.
po. How are
Thank you for this occasion. Yeah.
Ayan, okay. So, umpisahan natin. Doc, okay na, partner. Umpisahan ko na. Dr. Emil, ano po
Yes.
inyong personal advocacy at paano ho ba kayo naging bahagi o maging kasama po dito sa BCYF?
Actually, the chairman and founder, Tony Yap, has been a LaSalle boy, just like myself, from grade school, high school, college, master's, and doctoral. And I'm also a former LaSalle brother, where Tony Yap also tried once to be a LaSalle brother. So our paths have a thread of relationship that has been established long time ago, but under the banner of the De La Salle spirituality and formation. So that's how I got involved with BCYF.
Oh, yung pala yun, partner. Oo,
Dr. Emil, we want to know, can you share us, kasi ako, I have a gist of, kasi nakasama, we work together in Jose Rizal University and all events. Ano po ang inyong personal advocacy?
Ang personal advocacy at this point in time, really, is the home is the first university. And the parents are the original teachers. So, although I'm in the academe, I really encourage people to get married. Before, I encourage men to become brothers who will be celibate. But after I've been married for 43 years, I think the hands-on development of the child really depends on the very formation the child gets from the parents. So I'm an advocate for people to get married because this is the fundamental basis of society. And as one writer says, Mr. Moore, okay, home is the place to save society.
Wow.
So my advocacy is family.
Ganda, partner, Family.
Home is the first university. Quotable quote from Dr. Emil.
Again, partner. Home
is the first university.
Tama naman yun. Di ba? Doon tayo natututo talaga sa bahay.
And the parents are the original teachers.
Correct.
Correct.
And the teachers in the classroom are only acting in place, in loco parentis, the Latin term. Pero yung parents na hindi gumagawa ng kanilang obligation, na loko na parents.
Teka lang, Dr. Emil, partner, bago sa next question mo. Minsan may narinig ako, Dr. Emil, partner, sinasabi nila, ganyan ka ba kung paano ka palakihin ng magulang mo? Tama ba yun, Dr. Emil?
Yes, I am turning 78 this year. My daughter is 42. And a number of things now I have to listen to her. Even fundamental things like in my time I used to listen to the old song of Vic Damone. I don't know if you know him. He is a romantic singer. And then I saw this famous actor in Born Identity, and I told her, Julie, I like this actor. The family name is Damon, but my daughter is not that. That is Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Damon.
So I was flabbergasted. My 1950s pronunciation has to be updated in the 21st century on the same way of speaking. So the parents have to be humble. In technology, it's the same thing. I was writing my dissertation while she was in Australia, and I was trying to catch up with my dissertation. This was in the 70s. And I keep on asking her, would you know this and would you know that? Her answer to me, and this was in the 70s. No, yeah. I graduated, my dates are now mixed up, but I think it's in the 70s. And she told me, Dad, you Google it. And I said, what's that?
You Google it.
Yung Google. So lahat na tanong ko, sasabihin, you Google it. So I have to ask her, how do I do that in my computer? So, these are the things that I think the senior citizens have to listen to their children. So that's correct. Mahirap palaki ng magulang and we have to be humble.
Yeah.
You know, we have to take the wisdom of the young, in other words.
Opo. Okay. Partner?
Yes. So, Dr. Emil, we want to get your insights about this since you are from academe and then na-experience nyo rin po mag-corporate. How can we embrace social responsibility in the academe, even in business?
Well, number one, the academe is so programmed. No, you know, the disciplines are there. You have liberal arts, you have business, you have other sciences, and social responsibility is really belongs to the liberal arts. You educate a person to be a total person. Liberal education means you see practically all perspectives. So I'm lucky. My course was AB BSE at De La Salle University, where the course took me 5 years because we were the experimental group to take liberal education combined 5 years, or liberal education and commerce, LIACOM or LIAED. So I that early on I began to understand what it is to be human, and what it is to live as a human person. And I think the importance of values and responsibility has opened my eyes that early. So the academe. But I know the general education now has been so overwhelmed by technological and technical aspects that I think it is relegated. And so it fails to establish really the concept of social responsibility. Even GMRC in the grade school, I understand, is no longer being taught.
Correct.
So those are basic academic structures that must be reintroduced, corrected. Okay.
So, susugan ko yan. Are you in favor of that, Dr. Emil, na i-introduce again sa mga bata ang yung GMRC?
Yes, I really am in favor of, kasi in Catholic schools, they call it Christian living. The program before this was a Christian broadcast, and I think that's very important. But of course, this is my own opinion. I'm Catholic, I'm still Catholic, but I think after 500 years of Christianity, we have to rethink and try to reinvent Christianity in the 21st century. So the theology of St. Thomas Aquinas, which was based on the philosophy of Aristotle, by the way. St. Thomas was not the original human expert. He only got the human insights of Aristotle, which was purely human, and then he put in God as the center. So he theologized the humanity function that Aristotle was talking. So Aristotle talked about the three great values: truth, beauty, and goodness. And what did Thomas Aquinas do? Thomas Aquinas elevated by saying God is all truth, God is all good, and God is all beautiful. So the progress of Christianity has been from the very human to a more theological. But I think we have to go through a complete cycle now. That I listened to the program before this. It's all theocentric. no, it's God-centered. It's all about God, and I am an external participant, and I have to approach God. But I think the new theology, and if you read quantum theology,
Ay, may ganun po, opo.
it says that we are energy.
Okay.
Everything is energy, and that energy emanates from God.
Oh.
So you see, it's an empowerment of our humanity now, because God is within us. In Lasallian prayer, it says, "Live Jesus in our hearts."
Forever.
Nasa loob natin siya. So God is within us, and therefore, I'm sorry to say this if there are listeners, I will declare that you and I are divine. So, that's heretical. How can that be? But I am filled with energy. And energy springs from the source of energy is God. The universe runs, the planets do not collide with each other because there is an orderly use of energy.
Opo.
And I think the earlier we put that into our mind and hearts, we will empower everyone from the very beginning,
Opo, ayun.
and not some kind of a mere external participant where God is out there and I am here.
Okay.
So you are divine, I am divine.
Okay. Medyo parang natutulala na kami ni Partner Jojo. Dr. Emil, teka lang muna. Dr. Emil, balik tayo, sir, ha? Doc, since we're talking about the social enterprise this month, ano po sa tingin nyo, Dr. Emil, ang kahalagahan ng pag-aaral ng social entrepreneurship?
Okay, this is my favorite topic because ang social entrepreneurship is the key to the wealth of nations. If you read Adam Smith, he wrote the book 1776, that the wealth of nations springs from individual initiative. If a farmer has a little capital, he buys seeds, he plants, he harvests, he sells. He makes more money, he buys more seeds. Okay, so that is the enterprise. Paano maging malago yung maliit mo na pera para mag-uunlad ka, and in the process, the nation becomes wealthy. That's his theory in the Wealth of Nations. The only caveat I want to say is, how does one get the capital? See? Kasi in a democratic setup, if you do not have money, you don't have money. Okay? And you may want to save until such time that you have capital, just like what NBC has done. No? From a little shoe store along the sidewalk, it has now become a mega enterprise. So it's still a paradox. It's still a how do you spin off, in other words? So social enterprise would mean that there is a participation of society. There is a participation of society. But a socialist perspective is a little bit negligent, if I may say, in providing capital. This is where it is going to be a problem. And then the other side of the coin is, when you provide someone with capital, that person has to be ready to manage the capital. Diba? I used to live at the back of De La Salle University along Agno.
Opo.
Where there was an apartment, and it's basically the place where people do a lot of little sari-sari or little business. If someone wants to start naghihiram sa Bombay. And that is usurious practice. So halos hindi maitabi ang kita kasi gagamitin sa pangailangan pambahay, and the Bombay is there to collect every time. But there are successful stories at the back of De La Salle, and I have written about that in Manila Standard years now. Okay.
Dr. Emil, sobrang related yung itatanong ko sa story na nabanggit niyo po, no? Kasi we want to know this from your perspective, since nadaanan niyo na rin po yung evolution ng social enterprise evolution, no? What do you think is the support that these social enterprises in the Philippines locally need para po umusbong or mag-grow ang social entrepreneurship in the Philippines?
Ang number one pet concept ko talaga is the social enterprise cannot prosper unless the concept of profit and savings are applied. Ang maliit na entrepreneur, you have to correct me if I am right. Ang maliit na entrepreneur, pag nakahawak siya ng pera from what he has sold, there is much pressure because of the people surrounding him. Notice that we are not a nuclear family, we are a tribal family. So pag alam ng kamag-anak na may pera ka, kakatok sa pinto mo at saka hihiraman ka. So yung pera na dapat i-roll over, hindi magawa kasi the management of the finance is being filtered, okay, and weakened because the money supply is needed by not only the entrepreneur but the people around him. And the pressure is pag hindi ka nagbibigay, you will be condemned by the relatives and your family as corrupted. And I think that's the worst situation you can be in. But the entrepreneur has to make a choice. Nakapalang mukha niya, titigasan yung dibdib niya because he has to do financial management. So my point is, what really is needed is managing the capital, managing the profit. And that requires a lot of discipline. A lot of discipline.
It's true.
Because we are a relational family. We are always related to those around us. Okay.
Okay.
So the formation, this goes back to what kind of formation can the school and the university provide. But again, I go back. If the family does not have that kind of money management, then from the very beginning, I would say the enterprise would fail. And I teach mainland Chinese students at JRU. The money management of the Chinese is slightly different from us. They're very strict in holding on and very stringent in giving away what they have until they are fully established. The Chinese are very generous, but it's because they have established a prosperous enterprise.
Yeah.
Nakakaingit talaga na, at saka nakakaiyak. Because we don't have a tradition. The Filipinos don't have a tradition of entrepreneurship, by the way. The Filipinos have a tradition of celebration and happy events. And events require expenses. So, paano natin ma-manage? No? I'm not saying we will not celebrate, pero if you get married by starting with a big debt, parang hindi tama.
Okay.
If you are celebrating your child's birthday, at ngayon alam ko halos every month celebrate na pala yung birthday ng baby. Isn't that, all activities require money. So I really am scared of how Pinoys manage. Okay. Nagtanong ako, I was teaching MBA at De La Salle. This is about 15 years ago. In a class of 25, I asked who have savings, because they are MBA, they're professionals. Only one raised her hand, a Chinese.
Mhm.
And so I told her, how do you do this? Sabi niya, I work with Globe and I earn pretty well, and I'm able to meet my needs and the needs of my parents.
Opo.
Kasi single pa siya at the time.
Dr. Emil, siguro po itutuloy po natin ang ating napakagandahang kwentuhan, pero tayo muna po ay magbibigay daan sa pagpapakilala ng ating stasyon at ilang paalaala. Maari po ba babalikan po namin kayo?
Okay.
Salamat po.
That's the money side of this whole thing.
Okay po. At
Good. We
thank you po.
appreciate that.
Thank you po. Ayan, partner, at wag po kayo nga alis, magbabalik pa rin po ang programang
Kwentong Bayani.
Southern Plus Coffee Mix.
Ako si Lizette, isa akong diabetic patient kaya medyo maraming bawal. Sana dito ang kape, pero hindi ang Southern Plus Coffee Mix. Kakaiba to dahil ito ay may soya, munggay at santol na maganda sa kalusugan.
Southern Plus Coffee Mix. Kape na gamot pa. Mabibili sa mga butika.
Pride Bar, hindi lang puti, kisla puti.
Pag nilaban sa Pride Bar Blue, ang puting damit ay magiging
Mas puti ito, mas puti ito, mas puti ito.
sa Pride Bar Blue. Pwedeng hindi na ako magtina, anyel o bleach dahil ang Pride Bar Blue ay may power whitener na nanunuot sa bawat hibla. Kaya ang damit ay kisla puti at panayan pa sa kamay.
Mas puti ito, mas puti ito, mas puti ito.
Pride Bar Blue with power whitener. Di lang puti, kisla puti. Pride Bar Blue. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified. World-class quality.
ACS.
Naway ang sakripisyo ay mapupuno ng gantimpala, kasaganahan, kaligayahan at kapayapaan sa bawat pamilya ng mga kapatid nating Muslim. Ang RMN Networks ay nakikiisa sa pagdiriwang ng Eid al-Adha.
Sa Metro Manila, DZXL.
Radyo Trabaho,
DZXL.
ang tunay na gabay sa hanap buhay. Kwentong Bayani. Kwentong Bayani. Kasama si Jojo Armenta at Radyoman Jenny Pahilanga sa Kwentong Bayani.
Tuloy-tuloy po tayo. Kwentong Bayani, oras natin 10:34 in the morning. Kasama pa rin ho namin ni partner Jojo, si Dr. Emil Hudtohan. Ayan, via Zoom pa rin. Partner?
Yes, ako muli magandang umaga po sa ating mga nakikinig at nanonood dito sa Kwentong Bayani. Mabalik po tayo kay Dr. Emil. Dr. Emil, yung question ko po ano na to sa inyo, sisiw na lang sa inyo sagutin to, no? And we want to share we want to hear your insights about this as well. Paano naman po natin magagawa everyday ang pagsasagawa ng social impact? So, paano po natin mai-apply ang paggawa ng social impact sa ating pang-araw-araw na nagawain?
Wow, the question is really asking a person to walk his talk, okay? And my answer to that is if we go back to our inside radar, we are gifted with kagandahang loob. Kagandahang loob. So from the time you wake up to the time you go back to bed, and the relationships or the activities you have, if you are true to yourself, you have no choice but to do only what is good. And of course, that's very difficult. But if the child is trained, by the parents to only do what is good, to do what is beautiful, to say what is truthful, then he or she becomes an example. And in physical science, they call that snowball effect. Ang ginagawa mo pag nakita ng kapwa mo maganda, ma-motivate sila. It's snowball effect or it's a ripple in the pond. But I introduce you to a new term. It is based on consciousness. That is called butterfly effect. What you do is like what is called butterfly effect. In metaphysics, in the 1970s, a metaphysician said, butterfly effect means the flapping of the wings of the butterfly in South America can cause an avalanche in Mount Everest. That is how energy, so the actions we do can have a butterfly effect. This country, this country can have butterfly effect, but on the positive side. But notice how much negativity is being spread around in words and in deeds, in broadcasts, in visuals. We are in a deep trouble because the negativity creates also a butterfly effect of negatives. And therefore, we cannot progress as it should be. So, ang Lasallian prayer is, I will continue to do all my action for the love of you.
Wow.
All, walang exemption.
All, yes po.
Ngayon, ang Lasallian context is yung faith. Kanina, the speaker talked, faith is then coupled with zeal, which means action for community. So that is the dictum of Lasal. But Saints Co is ora et labora. You work and you pray. But the modern 21st century spirituality of Escriba is terrific. Anong sabi ni Escriba? Your work is your prayer. Can you imagine that? Kung nagtatrabaho ka, ito ay you're offering to God as your prayer. So, again, the entrepreneur must take a look at this. What he is doing is actually honoring God in making money. People will say, my God naman, pwede ba yan? Yes, pwede. You have pure intention. Your processes in making business is clean. Walang shortcut.
Oo, walang pagdaraya.
I know.
Under the
In
table.
every business, Jojo, in every business, there is a secret. There is a trick on how to do it. And I'll tell you a story. I have a student in La Salle pa, and he says, I help my dad on weekends to magbababoy, selling pork. And he says, I make money by selling newspaper. Sabi ko, how do you do that? Pag nakatay ang pirasong baboy na ilagay sa kiluhan, sasapinan niya ng papel.
Opo.
Dyaryo. Para yung dugo hindi didikit doon sa kiluhan. At the end of the day, he would be able to finish 2 kilos of newspaper. So he was selling newspaper at the cost of the pork or the beef. That was the secret of the trade on selling, meat in the market. So again, the entrepreneur must abide with the rules of the game and make money over the table, clean, rather than shortcuts.
Yes. Yun yung, Dr. Emil, mabanggit ko lang, no, yan partner Jenny, ang ating gusto rin i-emphasize in this month, no, Social Enterprise Month. Kasi we want businesses to practice and abide in a clean process of being successful in their business.
Correct.
Hindi lang puro profit, but also you have to consider na merong social responsibility na kaakibat ang pagtayo ng business.
Tama. And honoring God. I love it.
Yes.
Dr. Emil, I love the word.
Really, the perspective, the new management, the new perspective in management, the old context is bottom line profit. But the new perspective in managing a business is looking at well-being.
Yes.
So there are 9 elements of well-being, and profitability is only one. So aesthetics, environment, relationships, social, emotional, intellectual. The entrepreneur has to see this. Excuse me, I just get a phone call.
Opo. So napakaganda nung binibitawang salita ni Dr. Emil, ano? Pag
Hello?
sa negosyo, talaga partner, kailangan yung sabi mo nga kanina malinis, di ba? Kasi yung sabi mo walang under the table, di ba? Walang whatever partner.
Hello?
Kasi kapag ka meron, ako hindi malinis yung di ba? Hindi maganda yung negosyo, di ba? Oo.
Kaya din talaga we want to emphasize na ang social entrepreneurship is not just about putting up business but also to consider yung social impact. Diba napag-usapan natin
Yes,
yung last week, partner, na yun yung ine-emphasize natin na we want people when they create or have a business, kailangan i-consider nyo yung tao na apektuhan, yung environment, diba? Yung sustainability ba nun, ang development ng isang business.
So, social responsibility, of course, pasok ba din, iba friendship? Ay, partner. So, pagbalik ni Dr. Emil, tatanong ko partner naman sa academe, kasi maganda to Diba? Nandiyan na ba si Dr. Emil?
Yes,
ayan.
Yes. Sorry.
Mukhang tumatawag ang mahal mo,
May delivery.
May pa-Shopee pa pala si Dr.
Dr. Emil talaga. Doc, eto tanong ko na lang ano naman po ang role ng academe? Ito sa academe naman po tayo, specifically business courses para matulungan yung ating mga estudyante to embrace and advocate citizenship and social responsibility, Dr. Emil.
Diyos ko, I am just talking. I am from the Catholic school.
Opo.
And my reaction to that is napaka-heavenly ang perspektibo ng Catholic school.
Opo.
I'm sorry to say, this is De La Salle, Philippines.
Opo.
Ang motto sa De La Salle University is love of God and love of country. Unang-una yung God.
Love of God.
So, ang whole focus and activities are on external religiosity, mass, confession, and all that. Pero I was in Singapore, and there is a La Salle Singapore in St. Joseph, in Newton Street in Singapore.
Opo.
Their motto is love of country and God. And I was surprised. Unahin mo yung bayan. Okay? So no wonder the prosperity of Singapore really is the governance is able to convince the institutions focus on here and now what we do as a country. So ito yung problema ko talaga we are too theological after 500 years. Umiiyak ako dyan. What has the Catholic Church in the Philippines, what has it done for the progress of the citizens? Kasi citizens of heaven hindi citizens of motherland.
Okay.
Nakuha nyo?
Opo.
And I think I did not campaign for Sara Duterte, but now that he is in education, I think there is a chance that we will be able to revive what is nationalism and patriotism. Ang ROTC kinakalaban nila, pero that is putting the seeds of what we can do for the country to protect, etc. Naiiyak ako dyan. I have a lot of sentimental feelings on how we can promote citizenship.
Yeah.
We are citizens, and the land that we're stepping on is our motherland.
Right.
And we are made for heaven, but we are living here on earth.
Yes,
And the
yes.
motherland is key. It's a
Right.
key intention talaga.
We
for
have to
us
be-
to progress.
We have to be a good steward of what God has given us. Lalo na kung nandito tayo. Diba? Kung nandito tayo sa mundong ito.
Tama.
Ito po, bago kayo maiyak, Dr. Emil. Bago kayo maiyak. Ano po ang, ito na naman po yung namin, no, huling question na po ito, no. Ano naman po ang magiging advice nyo sa mga estudyante, sa mga business people, even sa mga nagtuturo, like in the academe, no, for them to advocate more citizenship, sustainability, and social responsibility. Basically, yung advocacy ng BCYF.
Okay, ito yung primary. I'm giving a talk to teachers in the Philippines. I was sponsored by a technology group to talk. Okay. I have what is called, we have to act as agent. You know, James Bond, 007. Kaya, ano siya, no? He cannot be put down. We have to be agents of this country, of this government. So, hindi ito mangyari unless we are anchored on our cultural heritage. Catholic values lang bang cultural heritage? Hindi. What were we before? We were Muslims. We were members of Majapahit Empire, Srivijaya, and the original was the Maharlika. We are an honorable people. So our cultural DNA must be anchored on that. Na hindi siya theological, it is cultural. My concept is, my dissertation kasi is retrospect prospective. We cannot move forward unless we dig deep into our historical past. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, look at the family names. Jojo, I think your family name is Spanish.
Yes. Correct.
So as if, you know, well, you look Spanish actually, Miss Tisa.
Wow! Partner, Miss Tisa.
But me, my family name is native. Udtuhan. Udto means noontime. But my mother is Spanish, Torricarion. Okay. But I dig the history of the Visayan people, and they came from Ujong Padang in Makassar, Indonesia. So when I went there, I almost kissed the ground at the airport. And it revives a sense of, malapit ba tayo sa Asian countries? Hindi. Mas malapit na tayo sa Amerikano.
Yeah.
Okay. Eh, brand na si Jojo ngayon. That's part of globalization. But my point really is the teachers, the students, and the individual citizens. Ano ba? Who are we? I don't think we have fully recognized them. Okay. Of course, I wanted to be an American citizen when martial law was declared kasi nahirapan ako. Yung sahod ko, 2 trabaho binigay sa akin. Sabi ng presidente ng kumpanya, you will retain the same salary but I function as vice president, assistant to the president and training director. Akala ko 2 sahod, sabi niya, 1 lang. Eh, if I leave, wala kang mapuntahan in the 1980s.
Opo.
So I wanted to migrate to America. Mabuti na lang umiyak yung anak ko kasi ayaw niya iwan yung kanyang dollhouse.
Yung dollhouse yung nag-save sa ito.
Yun ang saving factor.
Buti na lang
So
ang
in my late age, I am digging into my own self. Ano ba talaga ang cultural Pinoy sa akin? Unless we can do that, we cannot contribute our individual contribution as Filipinos.
Right. And thank you po, no? Thank you, Dr. Emil, for all the insights. I know na isang magiging makabuluhang usapan ito, Partner Jenny, kasi kilala ko si Dr. Emil eh. How he talks, how he gives talks to people, especially sa mga estudyante. Nako, kahit sa age niya yan, buhay na buhay ang mga students when they listen to him. Kasi napaka-relatable na mga stories ni Dr. Emil.
Ang lalalim.
And thank you so much po, no, Dr. Emil, for
Thank you,
your
Doc.
time, for your insights.
Any ano
I
sa lang?
enjoy.
Any parting words po? Sige po. For
Yeah, the parting
minute.
words I have is, if you are single, get married. Build a family.
Ouch.
You are the cornerstone of this nation.
Okay.
Tama ako
First
doon.
family, first university, first professor. And then this country will be in good hands. So
Ayan.
get married. Go out and get married.
Okay, thank you po, Dr. Emil. Have a nice
Thank you.
day.
Thank you, Dr.
Nice
I
Emil.
talking
enjoy
to you.
talking to you guys.
Nice talking to you, Doc. Thank you po. Okay.
Thank you.
Ayan, partner, si
Bye-bye.
Dr. Bye po, si Dr. Emil Hudtohan. O, alam mo na, partner, word for the day, go out and get married.
Get married.
And build, ayan na dyan po si
Go
Dr.
and multiply.
and multiply and build a good family, di ba, partner? Ayan. Thank you po, Dr. Emil.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's a great
ayan,
fun, great
thank you po.
interaction with you.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Congratulations to your program.
Thank you po.
Very interesting.
Thank you po. Bye-bye po.
Bye-bye.
Ayan. Partner naman, next Saturday, ano naman ang aabangan natin? Isa na naman bang
Oo,
Dr.
dahil
Emil? Oo.
tuloy-tuloy pa rin nga, no, partner Jenny, ating usapin regarding sa Social Enterprise Month. Next week, meron naman tayong mga invited na social entrepreneurs to talk about their business, their challenges, and what are the things that the support that they need, no, for the social enterprise in general dito sa Pilipinas. Alam mo, partner Jenny, maganda yung sinabi ni Dr. Emil na ngayon napag-usapan natin yung citizenship at social responsibility related
Correct.
to social enterprise. Kasi hindi ka talaga magiging, for me hindi ka talaga magiging ganap na isang successful social enterprise sa Pilipinas kung hindi mo ina-adapt yung citizenship at social responsibility.
Tama.
Kasi the number one that you will think of, not just for profit, is also the community.
Tama.
Kaya naman maganda na di ba? Kaya maganda na in-emphasize ni Dr. Emilio na kailangan you're abiding in doing good things before you consider having a business.
Tsaka observe, partner, pag may negosyo ka, hindi ka lang muna after the profit eh.
Yes.
Siguro ano lang yan, 40% mas or 30%, 70% yung sinasabi mo is your social responsibility, hindi ba? Oh, yun ang pinakamaganda doon.
And we can do a lot of good impact, social impact kapag yan ay inabide natin. Kaya naman po, tuloy-tuloy ang ating usapin about social enterprises hanggang dulo ng July. Abangan nyo po yan dahil we're still celebrating Philippine Social Enterprise Month. Meron pala akong announcement po.
Go ahead, partner.
So, ang Pusong Pinoy Awards po, you remember po yung aming awards and recognition for foreign vloggers. Natapos na ang aming screening. So, we have 7 nominees, but of course, only one will win the title of Pusong Pinoy Awardee. At mangyayari po ang Pusong Pinoy Awards via Zoom. We're going to release the invites very soon on July 15, 6:30 p.m. Abangan nyo po ang aming update sa BCYF Facebook page.
Yan. Visit nyo na po ang BCYF Facebook page at ang RMN DZXL 558 Manila. Okay. So yun lang, partner. We have to say goodbye. Go ahead, partner.
Ako muli, maraming salamat po sa ating guest for today, si Dr. Emil Hudtohan. Muli po, i-follow nyo po at i-like ang BCY Foundation Facebook page sa Facebook at ang aming check out the website www.bcyfoundation.org. At muli po, representing BCY Foundation, ako po si Jojo Armenta.
At para naman po sa RMN DZXL 558 Manila hanggang sa susunod pong Sabado, alas 10 hanggang alas 11 ng umaga. Ako po si Jenny Pahilanga. Magbabalik po kami ni partner Jojo next Saturday dito lamang sa programang
Kwentong Bayani.
Mga karamdaman ba ang problema mo? Subukan ang bago Santon Plus Gold. Santon Plus Gold. Mas pinalakas, mas pinahusa, mas pinagaling. Makatutulong sa paglunas sa mga pamamaga, bukol at iba pang karamdaman sa iyong katawan. Santon Plus Gold. Mabibili sa mga butika.
Para sa damit na ka-bloom sa bango, subukan